What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing another deck profile, but this one's going to be on Dev Pro because I don't have all the cards in real life to make this deck, so I thought I'd just make it on Dev Pro. So yeah, this is going to be a Kozmo deck profile. This is not going to be a cheap one like the one I made before. This is going to be a full-on attacking one with like YUGIOH and Solemn Strike and full extra deck. But yeah, let's get into it. Firstly, I use 3 Dark Planet, mainly because my engine is the Tin Can Dark Planet. And that's just because 4000 attack, 4000 defense, a monster that can't be targeted, negates spell cards. If it dies, you just get level 9 or lower. It's just all in a really, really good card. I have a feeling they're going to hit that with the ban list, but you know, that would kind of destroy Cosmos. I mean, getting Dark Destroyer to 1 was enough, but if they get this to 1, then I don't think Cosmos are going to be able to do anything. But yeah, 3 Dark Planets because it's just an overall really good card. 1 Eclipser. It's just because it negates traps basically, but many decks use more spell cards now instead of trap cards, so that's why I use 1 Eclipse and 3 Dark Planet, just in case they do use trap cards, so you can negate it with with Eclipser. 1 Dark Destroyer, in my opinion, the best card in the deck. Well, it's kind of a tie between Dark Planet and Dark Destroyer. It's just because you can destroy himself or any other big ship to get any smaller ship, so it is very efficient in that sense. Because if you can't get any other monsters any other way, you can just use Dark Destroyer to get. It's like a free search, and you can, if he's banished, just get him back with Kozmo Town. So he's a really good card, and if you do want to use his effect offensively, then you can just destroy your opponent's monster instead. 3 Foreigners, because there are like half of this deck, it's going to be costing you life points, like nearly all the Psychics, Solemn Strike. Yeah, it's going to be costing you life points, so you are going to eventually die. As well as Cosmos Town getting your banished monsters back is, you're going to be paying a lot of life points, so you're going to need some way to get them back. That's why I like to use 3 Foreigners. Plus, if Foreigner dies, you can get into any smaller ships and Psychics, so it is good in that sense. That's why I like to use 3. 1 Landwalker, because it is just to keep yourself safe, just a bit of defense for yourself. If one of your Psychics that you're going to use for a combo is going to die, or Kozmo Town's going to die, if it's your last Kozmo Town, then you can destroy himself or any other ship to protect that card. So it is good in that sense. 3 Slip Riders. I don't use any MSTs or Twin Twisters because this is more of an attacking deck. So it is just to destroy your opponent's back row, and it's just a really good card in general. 1 Dark Lady, because if some monster effects are very cancerous that you have to negate, then you can use Dark Lady for that. But not a lot of decks have you can allow them to activate the effect and still do things, but some you just can't, so you do have to negate it. So that's good for that. Plus, it can be banished to get a bigger ship. 1 Witch, because there are situations where you can't do anything, and it just comes to the point where you need to stall. So you can just pay 1000 life points with Witch and just defend yourself for like a few turns, and then you can get the life points back with Foreigner if you want. But yeah, it's just until you get any good cards. Farm Girl is for the OTK, so it's basically just you attack, pay 500 and get a ship, and banish attack, and yeah, pretty much kills your opponent. 1 Sword Trooper, because it works well with Tin Can late game, because it's happened to me quite a lot of times that late game I'm activating his effect to get the bigger ships, but I end up getting lots of Psychics in the graveyard, and I'm like, what am I going to do with that? So Sword Trooper did come in clutch one of those times, where I got Strawman back and used his effect to special summon, and then I was able to kill him. I use 3 Strawmans because, again, his effect is really good. If you're banishing with Dark Planet and Dark Eclipser, then you can just, and you're banishing your big ships, you can use Sword Trooper to get the monsters back and attack your opponent and win the duel, because you can get a lot of attack. Plus, when the big ships die, you can banish them to get another monster on the field. So that's why I use 3 Strawman. 3 Tin Can, obviously, because it works well with the whole deck. That's it for the monsters, 23 monsters. 3 Allure of Darkness. Now, in my opinion, I think Allure of Darkness works best in Cosmos because it's just so easy to draw, banish, say, Witch, and then just get it back with Cosmo Town. So it's like you never even paid a cost. It's the life points, but you can get them back with Foreigner. 1 Raigeki and 2 Dark Hole because, again, it's not letting your opponent do anything. It comes in clutch so many times. Dark Hole is one of the best cards in the game, in my opinion. Works very well with Cosmos because you can banish Cosmos and special summon, whereas your opponent can't do that unless they have some certain deck that can. And Raigeki is for if you do want to keep your monsters but want to get rid of your opponents, then you can use Raigeki. 1 E-Telly because you need to have Tin Can on the field for this deck. So if you don't, but you do draw E-Telly, then you can use that to get Tin Can and then use his effect in the end turn. 3 Cosmotowns, I don't even explain that because Cosmotown, just you have to have it for the whole deck to work because it's just recycling and very efficient. I use 2 Cosmojos because say you're versing Monarchs or something, which this was before, but there are other decks that you need to get rid of cards in their graveyard because they're using their effects too much to get them back on the field, which was the case with the trap card in the Monarchs, but it also banishes from the field. So it's not the reason this card is so good is because it's destroying your big ship so you can special summon, but it's also banishing their monster and not sending it to the graveyard. So all the cards whose effects activate in the graveyard they're not activating. I do use 2 because there have come times where I draw 1 and I've got 2 on the field or 1 in the field and I don't really need it, and sometimes I can't get rid of my big ship, otherwise it can cost me the game. So in those situations, Cosmojo is like not that good, so I choose to keep it at 2. 3 Call of the Haunted combos really well with Tin Can because you are always sending cards to your graveyard with Tin Can, and then it's pretty much like you're getting 2 cards because you're getting 1 to your hand and then you can special summon 1 with Call of the Haunted, so it's really good in that situation. And 2 Solemn Strikes because if your opponent activates an effect that will affect your side of the field a lot or will ruin one of your combos and you can just negate it. It's just 1,500, which is not a lot for Cosmos because again you are Foreigner. But yeah, that's going to be it for the main deck. As you can see, it's mainly all about attacking, not letting your opponent do anything. You're negating their spells, you're negating their traps, you're negating their monsters, you're banishing their cards, you're destroying their monsters, and you're negating effects and special summoning. So it really does lock your opponent down, and it does work good in that situation. For the extra deck, I have Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. It's just it can't be destroyed by card effects if it has XYZ material. Works well with Dark Hole. Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, again good with Foreigner. His effect is if this card attacks a defense monster, inflict piercing, so it is good in that situation. If your opponent is defending, but it doesn't really work if you can just attack attack their defense mission monsters and still do life points. But again, you can also XYZ summon this using a rank 5 or rank 6 monster you control, so you can get them from all of these smaller ones. Cyber Dragon Infinity and Cyber Dragon Nova. Well, that's a mistake. It's 2 Cyber Dragon Novas and 2 Cyber Dragon Infinities. Because you've got Slip Rider, so Cyber Dragon Infinity is a really good card. I use the same Ptolemy, Pleiades, and Hyades for the Constellas because they do work really well together. Volcasaurus is a really good card to work with Slip Rider as well as Durandal. Just shuffling cards back in if Cosmotown doesn't do that already for you, and getting a better hand. And this one just target one face of monster your opponent will destroy, and then you do live damage to your opponent. Phantom Knight to go with your level 3s is you can destroy a monster you control on a monster your opponent controls. Or a card you control on a card your opponent controls, so you can do that with Cosmotown and their card or your big ship and their card, and you'll get a card back. And Levayer to special summon your banished monsters if you have used their effects. And then for the level 2s we have Gachi Gachi if you want to defend yourself a bit, and Sky Cavalry Centauria, again it's got a good effect, and if you do end up having 2 Strawmans and you can't do anything with it, you can just get this guy out and it can't destroy a battle, so it's good in that sense as well. But yeah, as you can see with this whole deck, it's very less defensive and very good attacking your opponent, not letting them do anything, locking it down, and in that sense it is fun. and I have won a lot of duels with this, because it's just overall it's very connected. And if you do make this in real life, then I can guarantee you it's going to be a really good deck. But yeah, tell me what you guys think of this video. If you like this deck profile, if you like me doing deck profiles, I can do more. I am still going to make a Gusto deck profile because someone did leave a comment saying they want to see one. But I might start doing a Kozmo deck profile in the beginning of every month, changing up a bit. Then you guys can choose which like style suits you better. Maybe in the next one I might do the Kozmo, I think Dogfighter, which is more defensive and getting lots of tokens on your side of the field for a good defense. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.